Alright, guys and gals, mostly for the gals because they carry this Ruger LCPII 380. A lot of guys carry them. I'm not going to go into the shooting of the pistol or to the accuracy or to the function. Well, maybe a little bit of function. There's hundreds of videos out there on YouTube regarding this pistol unboxing, pros and cons, people's ideas, their tips and tricks. This is going to be a video on the Ruger LCPII 380 hacks, tips, and tricks, and I'm also going to end with some pocket carry tips and reminders. First off, I want to show you one of the 5 hacks that I did. I used the Talon Grips. I put Talon Grips on this pistol. I really like them. I think it really made a big difference in the gripping of the handle of the gun when I'm pulling it out of my pocket. They fit perfectly, and for the price it was worth it. The only problem that I had, and I don't know if it's from the Talon Grips or just the size of the gun compared to my hand, I'll show you. Right here I shot 120 rounds through it, and you can see I got a blister right there. And if you look at where my thumb knuckle touches this gun, right there where that grip tape touches is where I got that blister. And you know, some of you might say, oh, you weren't holding the gun tight enough. I was using both hands, single-handed. I was trying all kinds of different grips to make sure I knew how to handle this gun properly. So anyway, that's what happened, and it was right there where the tape and the frame meet. So I might cut that tape back a little bit right there, I'm not sure. So that's hack number 1 that I did. Hack number 2, which a lot of people have on YouTube, is I painted the front sight. A lot of people paint it orange. A lot of people paint it white. I used a white glow paint. I have this glow paint that I got off of the internet that is really good, and matter of fact, it's supposed to be some of the best glow paint. It's called Glow On. Don't know if you can see that, but that's it right there. So I use that on my sights, and then on top of it I put a dab of clear fingernail polish just to make sure it stays. That really makes a difference. A lot of guys will paint their rear sights, but I wanted the contrast, so I left them black for now. I don't know, I might paint them an orange or a red or a different color. The third hack I did is, if you look right there, you can see the top of the hammer. I painted it orange in the beginning, but for some reason my orange paint that I used did not stick. I cleaned it with alcohol 2 or 3 times, put the orange paint on there, and then it ended up coming off when I shot 120 rounds, the first 120 rounds through this gun. But what I did was painted the top of the hammer white, and actually I like the white better because you can actually see it down in the groove of the slide. And if you watch, people ask, well, how does that hammer work? If you watch very closely, you may be able to see it come back a little bit, very slightly, as I'm squeezing it, and boom. So again, that hammer does move back probably the 3/4 of the width of the hammer, and I'm going to squeeze the trigger now, and you can see it move back slightly before it discharges or the sear releases. So those are the 3 hacks I did. The 4th and 5th hack I'll show you real quickly, which a lot of people have complained about on the internet about this pistol. Is, see, there's the top of the hammer right there. That's the half cock position, and full cock is right there. That's full cock. So I want to show you guys what I did with the barrel. There's been a lot of jibber jabber on YouTube about rounds hanging up, failure to eject, failure to chamber. I don't know. I haven't had one problem with this gun. I've shot 120 rounds through it. I've shot Hornady critical defense. I've shot Federal HSTs. I've shot ball ammo. I've shot wad cutters. I've shot pretty much everything that I need to shoot out of this gun, and I haven't had one problem yet. So what I did after reading all the reviews and deciding to buy this pistol for my pocket carry, before I even shot the thing, I polished the ramp right here. I don't know if you can see, it's pretty good polish job. All I did was took a dowel, a small little wooden dowel about that big, and I wrapped some 2000 grit sandpaper on there, some wet dry paper, 2000 grit, and I polished that ramp all around so that I have a nice even polish job. It was a mirror finish. And then of course I cold blued it. Now that is the 4th hack that I did for this gun. The 5th hack is, and it's going to be tough to show you, right here along this side of the chamber. A lot of guys were showing videos online of the ejector cocking the round as it goes into the chamber. I saw a lot of videos on guys that were hand racking this pistol that basically were complaining that the rounds were hanging up. They were having hang-ups while they were shooting. The guys that are hand racking and getting jams, well, read your manual. It says that it takes a full discharge to operate properly. But what I did, just to make sure I didn't have any problems, and right there you can see the reflection off of my light right there. I took a little piece of 2000 grit paper and I wrapped it on this dowel, and I just polished that edge. I didn't even chamfer it hardly. I mean, I just knocked the square. If you can see on this side over here is a very sharp square edge. On this side we had the same exact sharp square edge, and what I did was I just knocked off the squareness of that edge by not even a few thousandths. I just kind of polished it and rounded it barely a few thousandths. You can see, you can almost see it right there. I also blued it to make sure that I would keep the rust down, but you can see that it's not a sharp, I hope you can see, it's not a sharp square edge right there on the left side of this chamber. And you can see as I move that barrel, you can see where it's rounded right there, ever so slightly, and that keeps the round casing from catching on that side. So hopefully if you guys have a problem, you can make that mod. Just take a little bit of sandpaper, 2000 grit, and just polish that sharp edge on this side of the chamber, and that'll alleviate that problem. So that is basically my 5 hacks for my Ruger LCP2. Obviously you guys know probably more about this pistol than I do. I do know that it is a single action pistol. I also know that there is no safety other than the trigger safety. Alright, why is my rod not going in there? What's going on here? Alright, that was just me. I wasn't holding the rod right and it couldn't get down in there. But anyway, that's put back together. What I do want to show you also, since I've got this thing apart, and I hope you can see it, I will try and get the light in there. I might have to get another light here. This is fully discharged, the hammer. Here is the half cock right there, and that's supposed to be a drop safety, so that if you drop the pistol, it's supposed to land on the second notch in that sear to keep from discharging. And if you watch the sear, that's fully cocked. So when you pull that trigger, watch the sear. It pulls back, there's the sear dropping, and there's the half cock. When that dude is in the half cock position, you cannot pull the trigger. That's it. It won't pull at all. So that is supposed to be the drop safety mechanism, which Ruger says they had to machine that top part of the sear off to be able to test it. It was that good of a mechanism. You can see the sear moving there as I pull the trigger. So that notch in the sear is the half cock drop safety. And of course, there's fully the hammer is fully dropped now as I'm holding the trigger. So here's the half cock and full cock. And I'll pull the trigger again. You can watch the sear. And I'll drop it to the half cock position. So basically, if you drop the pistol, the way it's designed, it should land on that half cock position on the sear and not discharge. And of course, again, the trigger won't pull. So that's pretty much the safety feature of this gun, other than the trigger safety. So we're going to put her back together. Put the pin back in. We're all set. Couple of tips for you. One more thing. There is no magazine disconnect on this pistol, so if you drop the magazine, it will fire. One other thing, if you run out of ammo in the magazine, it will lock open. It's got a magazine hold open feature. On the newer LCPs, I think the older LCP magazines do not have the hold open feature. One thing I want to, well, actually 3 or 4 things I want to say about pocket carry. A lot of guys are talking about the DeSantis Superfly holster. I purchased one. I haven't seen it yet. It's coming in the mail. But what I want to tell you is this: some carry tips and reminders for pocket carry. Number one, nothing in your pocket. No change, no keys, no notes, no love letters, no cell phone, no nothing. Nothing in the pocket that you're carrying this dude in except the holster and the gun. Number two, get yourself a good holster that completely covers the trigger and the trigger guard. This Ruger holster is nice, but I'm going to try the Superfly out. I've also got some leather right here. I'm going to make me a little holster out of that. Maybe an outside waistband, inside waistband. I don't know yet. The other thing I want to say is when you pull this thing out of your pocket, please don't pull it out with your finger on the trigger. Pull this thing out. Keep your finger off the trigger until you're at the ready to fire position. Make the decision, then engage. Never ever put your finger on that trigger as you're pulling it out of your pocket. And the last thing I want to say about pocket carry is pull the holster out. When you pull that thing out of your pocket, take your holster out of your pocket, put the pistol in it, and then put it back in your pocket. Never, ever, ever leave the holster in your pocket and attempt to holster the weapon while the holster is inside your pocket. That is a recipe for disaster. All it would take was your pants to push up against that, snag the trigger, and have an accidental or negligent discharge. Repeat, always pull the holster out of your pocket, holster the weapon, and then put it all back in your pocket. Never attempt to holster the weapon while the holster is in your pocket in a pocket carry scenario. So that's it. I hope you like my 5 hacks for the LCPII. The front sight, the hammer dot, the Talon grips, the polishing of the feed ramp, and the chamfering of the left side of the chamber. And I appreciate all you guys out there who have done videos on this nice little pistol. I love it for EDC carry when I'm running around in my underwear, basically my gym shorts, whatever. My LC9S is a little too big for that, and so are my other pistols. I love it. It's a nice little pistol, very snappy. Very snappy. Obviously you can tell I got a little blister there from this thing being so snappy, but I love it. It's the perfect pocket carry gun for me. Again, thanks for your tips and tricks, and appreciate you watching. Please subscribe.